Hey everyone. One of you recently asked me how to discover your life purpose. Now, I want to address this in this video because this is a question that a lot of us ask ourselves, and if we aren't able to figure it out, we feel like we're wasting our time because society kind of conditions us to feel like this is the whole point of our life, and that if we're not able to answer this question, then we just wasted all our time. And while I disagree with that, I do think it's useful to try to figure out what it is that you can basically dedicate your life to. But like I said, if you aren't able to figure this out, you should not feel bad at all. But anyway, let's jump into this. So, the first thing I want to talk about here is that discovering your life purpose isn't really as complicated as most people believe. One of the first questions you should ask yourself is just literally, what have you found most fulfilling in your life in the past? What things do you derive the most satisfaction, enjoyment, and fulfillment out of? Now, you want to kind of think more in terms of things that can impact other people, ways that you can give back and help others, not just, obviously, if it were just satisfaction, enjoyment, and fulfillment, a lot of people would probably say the bedroom Olympics or something ridiculous like that. So, of course, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things that have more meaning behind them, things where you can truly uplift others and that sort of thing. So, what out there that you enjoy doing are you also able to kind of turn into a medium of impacting other people as well? And sometimes these things will actually be a bit more nuanced than you think. Like, for instance, some people would say that art is their most fulfilling thing in life, and then they're going to think, well, how can I impact people with art? Well, you can actually. You just need to make art that is that has meaning behind it, where you could even post art and then have a description for it and tell your audience what it means to you and how it can impact them and that sort of thing. So even something like art is able to change other people's lives. Same with music, and even sports can do that. If you become an athlete, you're able to inspire the youth and that sort of thing. And it would be really great if we had more inspirational athletes. That would probably do well to inspire a lot of young people. But see, even things like that can still impact others. And then there are obviously ones that are more obvious, like becoming a teacher or a doctor or that sort of thing, where quite obviously that career path is going to impact people's lives. But beyond that, you just should be thinking about activities that you really enjoy doing, and then get creative on how you could actually help other people with them. For instance, I realized from a young age I love being creative myself, and it doesn't even really matter what medium I use. When I was a little boy, I used to love playing or building with Legos, and I used to actually try to build things without looking at the instructions, and then after I built something, I would then dismantle it and use all those pieces to create my own things. I made like spaceships, I made like hoverboard type things, I made all sorts of crazy stuff like ships and planes that weren't even what the Legos were meant to build. I just got creative with it. And that actually made me believe when I was younger, well, right before college, it made me believe that I should become an engineer because I thought that hey, I liked building things and that creativity can be used for engineering. But that was actually something more where I was listening to other people because they told me I would make for a good engineer. And later on I realized that wasn't actually what I wanted to do. And that creativity from my youth could be used for so many different things that I didn't need to get pigeonholed into just straight up engineering. But I also realized something important, which was that if I want to impact a lot of people, I don't need to be the person building or creating things myself. I don't need to be that engineer. I could become a business owner and then hire engineers and basically be creative in that way, be creative with a product idea, but then have other people build it out and that sort of thing. So I realized I didn't really need to go the route that everybody else wanted me to go. But anyway, that was a big tangent, just kind of explaining how I came into what I'm currently doing, because I just love being creative and helping other people. And with making these videos, I can do both. I can be creative with the video topics, I can be creative with my text posts on Instagram, the daily reminders, that sort of thing. And they help people. I mean, I try to come up with topics that I believe will be useful to other people, but I mean, that doesn't always work out, but most of the time I hope it does, at least. Yeah, I hope it does, but who knows? I mean, regardless, I still have fun doing it. So at the end of the day, that's why I'm able to keep making videos after hitting day 500 recently. I'm still able to keep going because it's something that I enjoy, that I derive fulfillment from, and I'm able to help people and be creative, which are two things that I really enjoy doing. So, explaining all that, I hope you can kind of realize how thinking about your past will really help you here, because all those things that you've enjoyed in the past, you got fulfillment out of them for some reason. So you just need to figure out what that reason may be. And it may not be quite as obvious as you think, because like I said, I used to think that my love for Legos meant that I was good at building things, but it actually went further than that. It was creativity was the thing that I enjoyed. I enjoyed being creative. It wasn't so much just building things. It didn't matter because I even enjoyed drawing. That was something I loved doing when I was younger. In fact, I kind of want to pick that up again in the future. I would love to get into painting. I mean, those of you who've been following me for a while, well, I mean, check these out. I didn't make these, by the way, but I love art, so I would love to create it myself. But you need to think on a deeper level for why you enjoyed certain things. I mean, even if you enjoyed playing sports when you were younger, maybe there's something more nuanced behind that. Maybe you enjoyed being in that team setting, or maybe you enjoyed just being active so you could actually become like a personal trainer or something like that and help people in that way, and you're still being active yourself. Who knows? You'll have to figure this out for yourself. But what I mean is, just try not to think in terms of the activities themselves. Try to think in what other things were influencing your love for those activities. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Just basically think about how, yeah, I loved building things, but it went a step further than that. It was I loved being creative more so than just straight up building things. And that creativity branched out into so many different realms. So it wasn't just in the manner of building things. And I'm really glad I didn't go the engineering route. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I'll stop talking about my past. So I love this. You can just tell from the way even just reading my bullet point here just sparked my memory. But I read a great book a while back called Your Money or Your Life. Now I forget who the authors are. I think it's Vicki Robbins and some other guy. It's two authors. But basically if you search Your Money or Your Life, you'll find this book. But in the book, they made a great point where they said that you want to kind of think about separating your life work, so your purpose, from your job. Because a lot of people get this, they confound the two, where they try to do both in one thing. So you'll have people who try to be an artist and make a living from their art, which is incredibly difficult, as we all know. Like, unless you become as famous as Jackson Pollock or that sort of thing, where you're more of a marketer than an artist, you're probably not going to make a great living doing art. So think about separating these two concepts. You do not need to make your job related to your life purpose. So that is a huge point here. I mean, even with my making these videos, I don't make any money from these right now. I do plan on changing that in the future because I would love to make an income doing something I actually enjoy doing. But right now I'm actually working for another company. So that's my job. I consider this my purpose, but then of course I have my job on the side to pay the bills. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford living in this room where I'm able to hang up this art like that. So you need to separate these two things. Separate your source of income from your life purpose. And unless you get really lucky, you'll be able to combine the two. But most of the time, that just simply won't be the case. So think about it as in a way of, you do your job for income only, and then in your free time or on the weekends, that's when you start doing the things that you truly enjoy, that bring you fulfillment, that you would call your life purpose. But if you can, definitely try to work towards making these two things intertwine into one, but it is pretty difficult. So just realize that you do not need to make your job your life purpose. It's just too many people try to do that, and it just usually doesn't work out all that well. So if you love making art, consider making art on the side while working a job somewhere else. And I would always suggest, if whatever you're into is something that you can document on social media, definitely give that a try, because you never know where things will end up, and it could be a way where you over time are able to then make your purpose a source of income in the future if you get enough eyes on whatever it is that you enjoy doing. So that's another important thing out there. But if you aren't sure after all this about what it is that you get the most satisfaction and fulfillment from, if nothing from your past makes you kind of discover what your purpose can be, then one tip that I have for you is just try as many new things as possible. That's the only way you'll figure out what you actually enjoy doing. So just do as many different things as possible, even working in different industries and that sort of thing, or even just reading about things and seeing if that sounds like something you would like doing yourself. Just try as many new things, because then you'll be able to pick apart the things that actually speak to your heart, and then you can forget all the rest. So that's pretty much the video that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you enjoyed it, then feel free to support me in the easiest way possible, which is just to like, comment, share, and do all the things that make the algorithm happy so that it shows this video to more people. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!